give me a quick second here. Here, I'll go ahead and pull this off. My brother said he was going to pop in, and so I'm going to text him the link. Maybe I should go into YouTube. In fact, I should be coming up on my own account. Yep, there I am. I have like a regular account that's not to do with games and stuff. And so I could watch myself to bump up my number and to make myself feel better that then I got more viewers, right? Okay. All right, let's refresh that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Do, 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 do. Streaming, streaming now, streaming. Well, I'm doing a little bit of advertising. I'm just not doing it to every Discord and every, X community and all that stuff. Um, share. I wonder if I should do the direct link or if I should, hmm. Wonder, what the buck go? Okay. Um, just a second here. You know what's funny? I put upgood link tree, and then the first thing comes up is my X account, and then my link tree doesn't come up as a link. My SoundCloud account pops up, interestingly enough. Upgood Hexiflixel. Forum.hexflixel.com. Upgood. Interesting. Anyways, my link tree is in my Twitter, I think. And I'm probably logged into that right now. It's open a new tab. Let's do that. There we go. I just wanted to copy this direct, or let's share it. Okay, I'm going to share it to John. Um, you can find the link to my YouTube. Wait, why you YouTube or Rumble. Uh, through here and just just hate these stupid touchscreen keyboards. I wish they'd start doing that old like I don't know if it was only Nokia. I know the BlackBerry had keyboards, but the Nokia had the pop out keyboard that was um lateral like landscape. I wish they bring that form factor back so I could actually press on some buttons. Latest stream. Okay, well, let's see if he does that. Well, okay, so all right, welcome everyone. And today we're going to try to put in some decision points. All right. That's weird. That's kind of weird. And the rumble. Okay. Okay. All right. So we want this one. We want title 1, page 0. Oh, so now what I gotta do is we call this red hiding hood. Okay. So we're going to start cutting these out. This is kind of interesting because I went back to. I see what I did. I went back to kind of having multiple pages, I think. Uh, so, This is okay. I need to check something though. Let's go back all the way to the beginning here. Uh, chapter 1. We'll just do all of the chapter 1s that are, we won't actually do the chapter page itself in the count. So that's 2. Those are chapter 2. This is chapter 2. And there. So, the first chapter is. Dang. What? Okay, wait. The first chapter is, that's only 13. Okay, to chapter 2. Okay, let's check out chapter 2 then. We're. Chapter 2. Shoot, 30. 20 times 30. See, it looks like. Okay, this is actually 28 pages. Okay, just give me a sec. The purpose of rebooting this thing was to shorten it, was to be shorter so that I wouldn't take as long doing it. And it looks like, I don't know, 28 pages. So let's do let's do a quick calculation here. Where's the dang calculator? Oh, there we go. And we'll say an average of 25. We'll say 25 because sometimes they're 30, sometimes they're less. One of them is actually 40 pages, and but just 25 times 20. Really simple. That's 500 pages total. It wasn't supposed to be 500 pages total. I was supposed to collapse some things and bring some things down, and dang, it's gonna be all over the place, you know. So either I continue doing what I've been doing, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and check chapter 3. Chapter 4 was the biggie, but we'll check, no, chapter 3 is the biggie. So we'll check chapter 3, like so. Okay. And how many is that? That's 42 pages. You know, I didn't have to do that much work for that because I was using existing work. Hmm. Yeah, ticks me off. Okay, that was 42. That was kind of the big deal. We were doing 20, could average about 20. 20 times 20 is 400 total. Of course, I was getting up to however many was it? It was let's open a new tab. And then let's open that in a new tab. Or I didn't mean to open it in a new tab, but that's okay. Go to older projects. Let's go to BK2 and let's check sign documents. Um, let's go to rooms. 263. Okay, so let's say we get up to 6. Well, we actually had some stuff in here. Okay, let's count the number of rooms to the location 16. Princess Prep. Do that. Actually, I don't know if that's. Maybe I should. Let's not do it that way. I'll open that up in a. I don't need two of them. Older projects, and we're gonna select the ones up until here. So we're gonna select uh, all of these, or I mean that's quite a bit. So we might be doing better by having less, but we'll because I'm roughly at the same place I was. So that's 186. Okay, 186. Now let's see how many pages I got in the current version. So that was 186, and so this one is we're just going to adding these. Dang it. Oh, yeah. Wait a second. Let's save room data. Then let's reload save scene, just so I don't lose what I just did. Okay, and here, let's just okay, we can include the new ones here. Wait a minute. Here. 145, see? So I was already at 186, and wait a minute, where is stupid whatchamacallit? Okay, okay. Um, so I already have, so I'm not actually past the point, am I? Would you say, would you say I'm past the point? I'm not past the point. I'm about at the point here. Red Riding Hood. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do now. Because it's the reason this is taking kind of long in a way is because I'm doing kind of the same thing. I mean, maybe I've been doing it a little bit faster. It is a few less, only a few though, not a lot less. That means I should probably, I don't know. I don't want to restart. What I want to do is, I want to decide whether or not, you know what? I guess it doesn't matter as far as the. Am I too dark? I wonder if I'm too dark. Right now, I'm not. I don't have the settings fixed. I'm letting it do it, so it'll change lighting depending on what's in the webcam. But this is partly why. I mean, I can go ahead and ask the AI. I don't know if that's even that useful to do that, but hmm, well, after a rough counting, I'm noticing that I have almost as many pages as as I did in the old version before rebooting. Yeah, and I kind of forgot that. I used some of the old deals. In fact, that was compressed. This was actually compressed, I think. And then chapter 3 was the biggie. Okay, so what about chapter 4? Let's see. Chapter 4. There we go. That is 28. um, let's look at let's look at chapter 5. Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is only 20. That's actually not too shabby. That's because there's not a wide enough thing on it. In other words, they don't go. It doesn't go too wide on that. Um, so maybe I need to here before I do anything. This is the whole thing again. Let's see if I could make it smaller. In other words, a smaller amount of pages here. In fact, the good part is I don't have to take any out. So If I move it from 4 pages to 2 pages, in titles, whatever, 4 titles to 2 titles, then I can just chop the last two off, and it won't really leave a gap that ways. Banners finds it leaves a werewolf village. Tells the werewolves led by my breed of the curse. Again, has some proof the curse. That can actually be combined into one. You can see that already. While she's gone, Kurt leaves. Eventually. Okay, I can actually essentially cut that down to 2 pages. Now, I know it's just more like I'm combining story beats. Actually, these can be considered part of the one story beat. Why? Because this is about Red and about getting her out of hiding and having her go and try to convince the werewolves to join Max's army. Okay, so that's a thing there. And then here, hmm, while she's gone, Kurt Rottweiler second in command. And this is all about the betrayal here. And this is all what the kind of the end. Oh, let me think for a second though. No. I don't know. Well, let me think. And honestly, I'm gonna be splitting these up again, aren't I? Let me think for a second. Uh, I'm trying to think of a way. I'm not just trying to combine things just to make it less. In other words, I could put more of the same lines on the same page, or I could compress it down where it says the same thing, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get away with the least amount of um scenes, I guess. Red needs to go get Max. Separate pages, separate pages. I'm a little stuck here. Kind of. It's just water with a little Kool-Aid thrown in there. Because I'm trying to get rid of these green apple flavored Kool-Aids because they're terrible. And we're not even using Kool-Aid really anymore. We're doing it for our electrolytes when I was using Element. In any case, um, I still need to kind of figure this out. If I leave it as okay? I mean, I can leave them as separate pages. Let me think for a moment. Two titles, multiple pages. In other words, I still split it up. Okay. That makes a little bit of sense anyways, I think. Um, Let me think for a moment. Red leaves for the werewolf village. Hmm. Well, I guess I'm staring at this for a few moments, just because I'm kind of unsure what how I should handle this here. I don't want there to be a lot of multiple pages. Now, if I make these titles, that means that usually it means you go in the middle. Let's just say, for instance, that these two lines, that there's something that goes in between there. Your decision points actually go in between there. It doesn't actually go in here because this just goes to the next page. So it would be within this here. It'd be after this one and before this one, right? So it'd be kind of like right in here. Now they would end up being two separate pages. They would still be under the first title though when I did that. And then here would be the same thing. I figure out a middle point here, and but maybe that shouldn't be a middle point. That's the thing here, because maybe the middle point is just getting red to go, and like honestly, the decision points are in here. Well, the decision points actually encompass this. It doesn't actually go in between here. The result is that she leaves for the village. You know, so all the decisions will be funneling to this page. Um, Now, okay, so normally when I break these up, I I don't break them up per how do I say it? There isn't usually decision points in between these story beats, right? Were individual pages before. So I'm actually not doing that there. What I need to do is I need to put the decision points inside the particular page, each particular page. When I do that, that's a lot more pages than I probably want. So so something I got to consider here. Um, still gonna have the number of pages. I should make this two titles at least, and then I should really have only like kind of one set of decision points. But there's a kind of an interesting way this is structured, which means I probably don't really have an issue, and that is these are almost essentially uh, cutscene pages. And while I want you to maybe play the villains, you know, make decisions for the villains, there's still going to be some stuff that's just information, right? Exposition or whatever. Um, so like the problem is that Max needs the werewolves on his side, so he gets ready to do it. So that's where your decision points will be made in here. This is actually the result of that, right? So this is the result. Um, she goes to the werewolf village. She tells them that they might get rid of their curse, and they tell her that they'd only consider it if there's some proof that the curse can be lifted, right? So this is actually informational here. And this isn't a part where there's even a choice in there. Um, Now you can have a choice somewhere where they're deciding, maybe, um, and that would be kind of the few flavor choices. But I don't need to do that extra stuff. So yeah, that's how I can have this title. So what's it? So like a couple of times before, I had it to where the the decision point comes right in the middle of a page, right? And then the next page this does the same thing. Well, I can't do that here. If I do that here, it's there's going to be four sets of decision points. It's going to be big. Like I already have a lot of pages before this in the other chapters. I don't want to go and do 30 and 40 page chapters. I want them to be at the most 20 pages. So, and I was kind of letting chapter 3 go just because it's almost two chapters worth in in the one sense. In the other sense, it's not really. They're not separate. They're the same things. So I could actually easily put those two into separate chapters, and they'd be about 20 pages apiece, which is fine. Okay, but even less would probably even be even better. Um, like that 13 page that I had originally in the first chapter. Okay, not a big deal in a way. Maybe there be a problem with pacing once I'm all done. I guess I won't be able to tell until I'm completely done. But if I can try to minimize the amount of pages, the amount of decision points are per chapter, so that it's actually less, so that I get done with this phase sooner, might be better. And I'm not going to start all over again the third time. Uh, I mean, I could. I don't know. I know that when you're programming something in actual programming, sometimes it doesn't work or it's not as efficient or as good. Uh, what what's this the update this morning? Okay, whatever. Um, so sometimes when you're programming, sometimes you have to like gut it and like rewrite it multiple times. In fact, that actually kind of helps streamline things. You get it multiple times. It yeah, you get it and then you rewrite it, and eventually you kind of rewrite it better and better each time. And so I've done that at times when I had problems like trying to solve some collision detection stuff where just wasn't working right, and so I would just like I do slight variations, but I completely, gut the function and then like rewrite it several times. And there was once where I did it kind of on purpose. I didn't. It wasn't that it wasn't working. It was just that it worked, but I was like, maybe I should just try to rewrite this again just to see if I can kind of streamline it. So I don't know. What do you think? Should I go for another like redo, like another phase one reboot? Um, and maybe I can actually bring down the number of pages even smaller, or should I continue on with this, keeping in mind that I want to keep it smaller to where the those ones that are long there have always been long, and then when I'm done with this shorter way or shorter version, then uh, then I can go back to those previous earlier chapters and I can like compress them again. I can compress them even more then, you know. I might do it that ways. This this is kind of the problem with not having enough people viewing your stream in the chat. So right now it's showing three. At least one guy, Fender Q, you might be watching on Rumble, maybe. The other two, I keep thinking fairly certain, or let's say I'm 75% sure that two of those viewers are actually me when I open both in separate tabs to keep tabs on the tabs. So this is why I'm always resorting to the AI. But this is an AI about stories, so maybe like Bomb, he was watching a couple of times. Well, maybe it only registers people that are actually logged in. Does it do that? Maybe it does that. I'm curious about something. Here, let me check something. YouTube and Rumble register viewers my live stream that are not logged in. During live stream, the handle of viewer tracking. YouTube counts viewers in real time during live stream, also tracks unique viewers. The viewer count increases as people join and includes those watching via embeds or direct links. Roll tracks live viewers similarly, counting unique viewers. May count viewers from embeds multiple times or include non-organic viewers. Uh, the viewer count is updated in real time. I want to know if it counts when people that don't have an account and are and or not logged in. Because if it only counts even if they don't have an account or aren't logged in. Okay, anonymous viewers. Um, uh, okay, so another thing, I have both Rumble and YouTube opened to my live stream. So I keep thinking maybe when I see two viewers, at least two viewers, two of those are mine. One from YT and the other. Okay. Yes. If you have the same person watching live stream on both YouTube and Rumble's up, two separate viewers. No, no, no. That's not what I meant. No, I meant I'm the viewer on both platforms. Um, do they detect that I'm the owner of the channel stream? And um, and if they do they include my viewing in the live viewer count? Include the streamer you in the live viewer account, even if you're not logged in. One concurrent viewer per instance. It's two of the viewer count. That's kind of what I thought. That's kind of what I thought. So that means there's only one person, other person viewing my stream, which is fine because, like I said, not everybody has the time. People are working here, at least in the U.S. They're working here in the weekday, or even on their if they're on their lunch, they can view it. But so I'm at least two of those. So really, I'm mostly talking to myself, especially if that third person, you know who you are, is not chatting or is not chatting or interacting with me in some way. Um, so whoever you are, unless you're my brother doesn't have to chat if he doesn't want to. That's not really. I um, I'm just mostly talking about if you're somebody that um, just somebody that's not my family, I guess, whatever. Although my brother can chat in here if he wants to, too, if he's actually viewing. I don't necessarily think that's him viewing it, right? He might not even have seen my text, so, or he might not be hassled with going to my link tree and then picking it and then picking the latest one. Maybe he just wanted a direct link, and maybe I should have just given him a direct link. But in any case, that doesn't matter that much. Okay, so like okay, I'm gonna use. I guess I'm gonna keep on using the AI until I get. I'm gonna use the AI more until I maybe I can get an audience so that yeah. Okay. So let me think for a second. I guess let's go to ChatGPT because I already have a conversation. I kind of deal with Grok too, sort of, but it's less in scope. It's less say it. Okay, so I don't know if I mentioned to you that I rebooted phase one because it was taking too long. So before there were about 93 story beats for individual pages, and adding um, decision points. I was adding so many um, that I decided to start over. Um, that I decided to start over um, group story beats into chapters, and then um, I would actually um, have only one or two decision points in the whole page. Should result in less pages overall. Okay. With me so far? You basically grab the sorted chapter mode. For your chunk of your chapters, each chapter containing them. Except I have a problem now. Well, uh, the problem sort of happened as a result of but the problem happened as a result of me wanting to reuse the some of the old pages. some. Oops. Well, I need a new conversation here, but some of the old pages. So when I count the number I have now versus then, it's about 145 to 186 or something like that. So, and so all in all, I don't have that many fewer pages. Um, so when I came to chapter 6, it's composed of 4 previous story beats, and then I realized that no, last night, first one, last one. I might still have too many pages. Now, I've sort of figured out what I want to do. In actuality, 2 of the pages are just information dumps, and really just a result of what happened before. So in reality, I can have only 2 places that have decision points, and I can make sure to keep down the number of total pages. Not much of a problem. But as I'm on chapter 6, I have 6 through 20, 15 more to go, including 6. And remembering that I wanted to keep the number down, I'm going to try to start doing that again. However, that being said, the previous chapters have quite a bit of pages in them. Chapter 1 has only a total of 13, which I streamlined down from the old version. 2 has, and actually let me go, let me check. Let's close this for a second. Let's do this again. 1 has 13. I think two has like 22 or something like that. Here. We won't include the actual chapter. We'll include that. Okay. Why is layout camera? Let's do that. Okay. Last one. Wait a second. What is that? Chapter 1. Okay, so it's 15. All right. So there's okay, 15. Oh, wait. Oh, what the? There we go. 13. Okay. 13 and 1. Uh, let's see. Okay. And make sure that's okay. So I have 28 in chapter 2. 28. Chapter 3 has 42. Right, back to school. Um, no, 3 is what we're, okay. What am I thinking? 3. Hey, right? Wait, what? Whoa. Oh, take 2 out. Right, 2 is 28. Hold on. Why are there 2 pages? Should not be 2 pages there. I'll have to look at that. I'll have to check that out. Chapter 2, T1, page 24. Okay. Why did I do that? 3. Oh, I see why I did that. Three. Oh. So 3 has 42, which is what I said. 4 has... What does 4 have? I'm going to have to fix that, though, here in a second. 4. There. Okay, so 4 has only 28. Actually, does 2 still have 28? 5. Okay, so what does 5 have? Uh, 5 is 20. It's 20. Okay. Let me go and check 2 again. Let's see, where's 2? Actually, let's fix that. 25. Oh, 24. Okay, so this one needs to be removed. And we can bring this back here. Okay, save room data. Scene, reload, save scene. Okay, so that chapter is going to have less. It's going to have like 41, but we'll leave it at 42 just for the count. It doesn't really matter that much. Okay, so let's go back to chapter 2 again. Okay, 27. Yeah. 2 has 27. 5 has 20. Now, 20 is kind of what I wanted to keep most of them around to. I was letting chapter 3 kind of get around that by saying it's actually 2 chapters worth, but because it's in the same vein, it's 2 separate characters and they're taking 2 different deals. I was kind of allowing that. I might still allow that, maybe. Okay. All right. That being said, the previous chapters have quite a bit of pages. Chapter 1 is teen streamlined. 27, 42. And actually, that isn't the total number of pages. That doesn't include um, the chapter pages. And so this is a more accurate count. Let's actually recount that. 180 something. If I recount that, 13 plus 27 plus 42 plus 28 plus 20 equals 130. Okay, so 130. These don't include the chapter pages or the first 2 intro pages. So in reality, this count is 130, not 145. But still, 180 plus versus 130. It's less, but it's not drastically less. Okay. Whoa. Sorry, Ergo, I didn't recognize you there. You look like you are ready to go into the Ukraine front line. I need neighbors like you, military haircut. It's not. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of army green-ish shirt. There's just a bunch of like kind of neutral color shirts that I got a long time ago. This is like a really old shirt now. Um, Probably back from Oregon. Even it could be back from when I was in Montana, but even Montana is over 10 years now. Um, Anyways, uh, I don't really have. Well, I guess technically speaking, in the army they do shave your head like this, so I guess I can see what you're saying. Anyways, really happening. He did make the right structure. Few chapters instead of atomized beat, fewer decision points, more narrative per page. But then you reuse old pages very reasonable, cut their granularity. Quietly preserve the old page count DNA. Even though phase 1 is conceptually simpler and page math still smells like the old system. Uh, Emotionally expected. Wow, I halved it. In reality, okay, I shaved it. Nothing's wrong, but it's not giving you the relief. Uh, they need to be paragraphs. This click exact lever that reduces page count. Pages for player and agency, not for story logistics. Asks us really, if the player couldn't interact here at all, would anything be lost? The answer is no. Merge it. Maybe merge it. Yes, keep it. Make it earn its rent. Practical cap system. 15 chapters left, including 6. Give yourself a budget now, so future year doesn't curse past you. Example, tweak numbers as you like it. Per chapter, target 6 to 10 pages. Hard max 12. Decision point pages, maybe 2, 3 once in a while. Everything else folded into these pages. Chapter 6 has 4 old beats compressed into 2 interactive pages. fold the two beats into opening paragraph, consequence, paragraph after choice. Same story, fewer files, happier system. About the early chapters, yes, 2 to 5 are chunkier than your new ideal, but here's the secret dev superpower. You do not have to retroactively perfect them right now. Reframe the numbers so they stop haunting you. You didn't fail to reduce scope. You stopped with exponential growth, flattened curve. Turned a runaway project into a finishable one. 130 versus 186 is not drastic, it's survivable. Now you've identified info dump pages as mergeable. That number can still drop without pain. Okay. Okay, so uh so yeah, what I was deciding was whether I should whether I should start over again and streamline more, or just continue taking care not to go over the max, and then go back to those few chapters and streamline them even further. Might be the better solution. Restart main mountain versus finish valley. Uh, um, okay. Yeah, isolate the problem chapters. And there's actually, I got 15 whole chapters, so I only have 5, and I only have a couple that I really need to streamline. Chapter 5 is good. Chapter 1 is good because it's less. Chapter 2 and 3, let's see, 2, 3, and 4? 2, 3, and 4 could use some streamlining, and 3 I almost kind of let it. Um, yeah, I can prune a few things. I mean, I guess that's right. If I was wait even further, uh, if I was so ergo, you're the same ergo uh in the Redot Discord, right? Or Redo or Redo, whatever you want to pronounce it. The Redot Discord and the off topic channel, right? It was just I'm pretty sure that was you. And the reason I was calling you Ergo the Magnificent is because I had just watched Kroll. In fact, okay, so Kroll is a movie from 1980. I want to say 1986. Might be 85. No, it might be 84. No, it's 83. That's right. It's an early one. It's from 1983. Um, it's a fantasy slash sci-fi. It's not really sci-fi. It's more like it combines fantasy with space opera. So it's like Star Wars cross Lord of the Rings, sort of. I'm not trying to put it at the level of Lord of the Rings or anything like that, but it's sort of like that. These these Slayers, they the first thing they show this big kind of like monolith kind of thing out in space, and it lands on this planet, and um and these creatures coming from it called the Slayers, and they basically come and conquer or try attempt to conquer the planet basically, and so apparently they're from like some advanced alien civilization thing, but it's like sword and sorcery, so it's like still follows the fantasy deal. It's really cool how they meld the two together. Anyways, Kroll's a pretty good movie if you've ever seen it. And they never had it on 4K until like just this last year, 2025, or even, yeah, 2025. And they only have it in limited edition, so it actually cost $40. So it's quite a bit of money to have it in 4K. But it's a really good movie. You should see it if you're into fantasy or space opera or any of that sort of cool stuff. And one of the characters is called Ergo the Magnificent. He's a I guess you could say he's a wizard or something. I don't know if they actually call him a wizard, but he's a wizard. But he always manages to like screw stuff up. It's not that he's a bad wizard. It's just that he's a little confused sometimes. Sometimes he turns himself into stuff instead of turning somebody else into something. But anyways, it's a good movie. You should see it if you like that kind of movie. Anyways, okay. I do find redoing stuff uh, uh that should be okay though. Maybe I turned it down, didn't I? Okay, never mind. Uh, redoing stuff um does help streamline and make things more efficient, faster, or whatever. At least when it comes to coding, sometimes just rewriting the function several times makes it better each time, even if you don't have the problem with it. Um, so I was thinking, should I do that again? But really, uh, only 3 chapters are a bit bloated. 2, 3, and 4. And I actually had sort of a justification for chapter 3. In essence, it's it's 2 chapters in one, but I don't know if the thematically is the right word because I don't have a theme in there, but thematically, or I don't know. Um, Conceptually, they're part of the same thing. Hubert sends John to night school and Princess prep. And Hubert goes to Wizard U and Fairy God College. And then they run later. So they make sense being in the same chapter. Uh, Refactoring has time. Do it the wrong moment. Turns to product. Um, so to stop having this extra personality, I feel like I'm gonna be rude to the AI if I say, "Would you quit it with the stupid analogies and crap?" Just tell me straight out. Just act a little bit more dry, less humor. Your brain saying, "Hey, learn more. I could clean this up. That's valid. Dangerous instinct. I should do this now. This is where a game narrative does not equal code. Code's test has objective correctness. Refactors don't change the user's experience. The story is about pacing, about player fatigue. Judged only after you play it. You can refactor 3 forever and not know if it's too long until phase 1 runs end to end." Chapter 3 specifically is actually strong single narrative cause, Hubert's plan, parallel tracks, reading and payoff. That's not blood, that's structure. Chapter 3 feels big because it's doing setup, split, payoff. That's allowed. Some chapters earn their calories, so chapter 3 is not the first one you should put on trial. Likely overload. Chapter 2, early exposition syndrome. And chapter 2 is about Sir William. No, chapter 4 is about Sir William. Aftermath plus reactions plus consequences. These are early chapters. You didn't have your new discipline when you wrote them. That's normal, not a failure. Fossil record. Micro refactors allowed now merge purely informational pages, remove the end pages, collapse repeated motion through 2 pages and slightly denser one. Re-outline the chapter, change narrative intent, add clever new decision points. What if we restructure this whole plot? If the change reduces file count without changing meaning, it's safe. Okay. Sneak compression, not reinvention. You don't need another reboot. You need a light trim. And I think any good hard max would be 20 pages. That's why chapter 3 is actually 43, 42. Well, that is what the chapter is a narrative unit is essentially what it is, but that's okay, I get it. Yeah, and honestly, there may not be many places that actually have that thing to it. So that would probably be the only one that feels like that. 12 to 18 pages, absolute ceiling 60. 20 info only pages don't get to multiply. Villain chapters may run longer once. Parallel POV chapters may exceed 20 if only splittable. Payoff scenes can be chunky if they end something. Outside warmer pages really needs its own beat. The player might want more detail here. Players want momentum, not minutes. Commercial candidate. Yeah, chapter 3 could be split, but I'd probably leave that. Mm. Oh, well, it's 1:30 already. Going to be more when I do the next chapters. 15 15 times 20 equals 300 equals 300. Although I'm still going to try to keep it down if possible. Worst case fantasy, not a forecast, yeah. Linear by design. Yeah. Um, Chapter 6 is unique, at least so far, in that 2 of those story beats are actual info pages or result pages. Um, so the first beat has Max pulling Red out of hiding and sending her to the werewolf werewolf village. My nose is bugging me, bugs me a lot. Um, okay. Sending her to the werewolf village. Uh, 2 is just her telling them about the deal. Although I can put a decision point. Well, could put some decision points for flavor, as she doesn't have a good relationship with them. But that would probably be just a just for narrative flavor. Um, Big picture reassurance. Not every chapter needs puzzle decisions. Fiddling. Uh, Beats 3 and 4 are similar. Beat 3 is where Kurt leaves the village to talk to Violet. Violate. No, Violet. Violate. Yeah. To talk to Violet. And then beat 4 and makes a deal with her. And beat 4 is when he comes back and the rest of the pack decide to take Max up on his offer. You accidentally 4-beat villain sandwich. That's that means this beat is prime. Play the cuts. No. Well, no. Um, well, here's the thing. There's nothing that they have to do, so it's mostly character and narrative flavor. But in both beat 1 and 2, um, there's a deal that's made. Well, red gets coaxed, but Violet and Kurt make a deal, but um, they're similar in nature. So I compress beats 1 and 2, 1, 2 into 1, and beats 3, 4 into 1. And then it can have a decision point in between each. Still the same number of pages, but I number them like this, right? T1, right? Page 0. T2, page 0. Okay. T1, T2, T3, T4. Now T1 and 2. They'll still have the 2 and 4 pages, but the number 2, number 4 pages, number 2, number 4 pages, but they'll exist inside T1 and T2, so will be T1, T0, T1, T1, or whatever I decide for the actual page number. And then P2, P0, P2, P0, and P2, P1. Sounds like I'm creating a new Star Wars droid called T2PO and T2P1. I don't know what kind of droids they'd make, but they sound like droid names to me. You're not adding pages, you're filling space-time. Structural compression, not content deletion. That's exactly the right move here. You're actually doing what works. Beat 1, beat 2, one narrative unit, beat 3 and beat 4, one narrative unit. Each unit still contains setup and payoff at light decision point. Mostly flavor, tone, emphasis, page, page, page. Yeah. Same page count, less perceived bloat, much cleaner mental model. It's not cheating. Chapter architecture. And I can keep them each to 10, at the most 10 pages, or 8 pages. 8 pages in between if I keep it if I keep the number that ways. You also write decisions don't change the outcomes, they usually change texture. Red frames deal how Kurt but justifies betrayal. Slight dialect tone shifts. Yeah, like if you do make villains playable, you already have the scaffolding. If not, it still reads like a type montage. No refactor tax like later. Instead of I must delete more pages found, I can nest narrative beats. That's the difference between rewriting forever and actually finish the game. Frankly, Red could also stand to learn. If you want, next time we can do a quick is this beat nestable checklist or hard chapter. But for now, it's solid. This is a solid grown-up design call. Okay, thanks. It's break time now. I'll be back later. Okay. So, okay, so this is the old one. We're going to close that now. And this is the current one. I'm not going to remove these pages. I'm just going to rename them. Okay, let's save room data. Let's make sure everything is saved here. And in fact, I don't even need to change the name either. The name can be the same. I'm just changing the prefix. So this is normal. This is T1P0. This can be changed. And I'll change them one at a time just so there's no weirdness going on. T1 page. You know what? I could do a thing where I'm doing a I could label it page 10. Page 10. And that way I can have any number in between. It doesn't matter if they're not in order. It doesn't matter if they skip any, whatever. T1 page 10, we'll do that. Okay. Well, actually, what was T2? T2 was the... That's interesting. But I didn't think about that. That's interesting because usually I have like a resulting. Still have a resulting. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe this is what I'll do right now. Is we'll go ahead and do that, and let's actually go back in here too, and let's go to the door. So instead of that T2P0, it's going to be T1P10. That, and then we're going to save room data. Okay, and it should rooms. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Shoot. I'm wasting too much time again. Chapter 6. P10. See, it didn't delete the other one like it's supposed to. It was supposed to delete that one. Okay, that's fine. I can manually delete it, but for some reason the deletion thing isn't really working like it's supposed to. And fine, what I'll do here is we'll rename this. We'll do it the same way. It won't be P3, P0, which is what I would normally do. But I'll decide if I get a T3, P0 because usually it ends on the title also, but we'll see. Just I guess precedence or whatever. Um, to page 10. Okay, and then this one rename T2 page 0 like that. Okay, and then let's go ahead and go to layout tool data. Let's go to, dang it, I gotta finish. Hurry up, I gotta hurry up. Oh, oh, oh. Wait a second, right about the Riding Hood. Why is that still there? Okay, fine. Delete that one. Delete it. Proof for a bargain. Delete. Let's rename this T2P0. Rename this T2P10. That. And go back to rooms. Let's open up all the chapter 6 pages. Open with text editor and T1P0. Okay, I've already changed that, right? Okay. And this is gonna be T2P0 here. And this is gonna be proof for a bargain is T1P10. Okay, that's fine. This is gonna be T2P0 frenemies. T2P10. And this is going to be T2P10. And we're going to save that. So that should be fine. And this should be scene, reload, save scene. Reload, save scene. And everything should be hunky-dory. That's Red Hiding Hood. That's Proof for a Bargain. That's Frenemies. And that's A Tenuous Deal. Okay, which is going to be combined later. Anyways, I gotta be... 19... Oh. Yeah, sorry, John. Uh, I'm supposed to go to break right now. In fact, Dad's expecting me in there right now. I'm a little bit late, so if you could jump back on in an hour, or if you can't, you can't. Don't worry about it. So I'll explain it to you a little bit later. Okay, thank you for watching part 1, and I will see everyone in an hour.